Good morning and welcome to the Jesus.Plus.Life show. We are all about bringing you cheery conversations on juicy topics. This week we are showing part 1 of a conversation with Dr. Brittany Bell and Sonny. In this episode they talk all about goals and motivation. These two ladies have so much to share on that topic. You know the drill. Get your cup of coffee, hit that share button, and get ready to be inspired.
So Brittany, you are a doctor. And you are just, you decide something, you go after it. So what are all of your degrees in? Because I marvel at the fact you're a doctor. I'm like, I feel like I do a lot in life and I'm not even close to calling myself a doctor. So talk about your different degrees and also how long it took you, because you're not very old.
Well, honestly, I had a goal to get to, like by a certain age, I wanted to have something accomplished, or at least this accomplished. So thinking about all my degrees, definitely communication is my first. So I have a bachelor's in communication, a master's in science and education, and then a doctorate in education, and it's higher education administration. So,
wow.
It's always been a desire for me to reach to the top. And so in my field, I wanted to make sure that I had as many opportunities as possible. And it was, once I started, it was like, all right, I'm going to the top, and I'm not going to let anything stop me.
That's awesome. So is this it for degrees, do you think, or just for now?
Yes, it is it for degrees. I'm always open to different professional development opportunities. So I'm always trying to figure out what skills can I develop, how can I grow as a person, how can I grow spiritually. So I'm always seeking new opportunities to be better.
Including you guys started a business. So that is amazing, because you not only started it, like you developed it, and now it's functioning where, like, we use you. Like, you're now a company that we're meeting with tonight to do signage. And how did that come about? Was that both you and Chris's idea, or just one of you?
Well, the interesting thing is, it's two different businesses.
Okay.
So the promotional marketing was something that I had started out of my communication background.
Okay.
And so it was just a passion to help people and just trying to figure out how can I use the artistic ability that I have. And so I started with doing like websites and just helping people in any way I can, like promote their business. And then from there, it was like the vision was given to Chris to start an apparel line. And it was so funny because in my childhood, I'd always wanted to start an apparel line. And so when he said it, I'm like, well, yeah, let's do this.
That's awesome.
And so with that, we were like, all right, let's offer this to other people. Let's help other people with, promotional marketing and doing shirts and stuff like that. And so that's kind of how it expanded. It just kept expanding to other services and different services that we offered.
It's so great. So what advice would you give to people who say, I have this dream, I have this vision, but I'm just so scared to step out?
Yeah.
What advice would you or do you give people?
Well, there's so many paths to take. And I would say definitely don't allow one path to be that you're in route, because sometimes when we go through a route and it's too bumpy, we stop and we say, oh, well, I'm gonna go back home. That's just, that's the way I see it. But it's all about figuring out what path works for you, and just keep going, stay motivated, keep going until you get to the end, because it may take a year, it may take 20 years, but don't stop. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So,
having a goal, it takes more than just saying you want to do something. It is taking necessary action that requires planning. For Brittany, that meant seeking new opportunities. Find out what path works for you. It might be the one you started on, or like Brittany said, it might get bumpy and you have to choose another route. Part of meeting your goals is enjoying the journey it takes you on. Let's continue with this week's conversation and hear what else Sonny and Brittany have to share with us.
So as business owners, you both work outside of the home, but you have kids. So how do you balance that? Because it's not like you each have one job. You have multiple jobs between the two of you, plus kids.
Yeah. We're really finding a passion that we enjoy. So we love to travel. We both have different things. So I love art. So I'm always trying to figure out how can I draw, or how can I use art in a way to just relax sometimes. But the balance is hard sometimes. But it's really the structure that helps us stay focused and helping us like figure out what's, like what things do we need to remove, what things can we continue to maintain. And I actually go back to something that I remember you saying. It was, and I'm probably not saying it exactly how you said it, but it really goes back to what our mission is. And so within that mission is trying to figure out, does this align with our mission? And is it something that really aligns with where we see ourselves? And if it doesn't, we kind of remove it.
That's so good. Well, I think a lot of people, they think they can add or they should add, but they never consider what to remove. Like, honestly, I've not heard a lot of people even talk about like family and balance, about removing. Most people want to balance all they have and then go for more. And they don't consider, like, when you added another degree, there were some things you probably subtracted to be able to focus on getting a degree. And that's really noble, but I think a really important thing for like our listeners and our watchers to hear is, like maybe I should consider what to remove. What is unimportant or what is just less important. And I'm sure that goes through the lens of your family, probably more than anything. So what have been some things that you've had to remove?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah, I just put you on the spot. You had no idea I was going to ask that.
Question. Jobs.
Okay.
That has been one big thing of trying to figure out which jobs align with what our faith is and what we believe and the mission, or where we see ourselves. Unfortunately, social circles, like, just different things that we realize weren't necessarily going in the same direction.
So same and removing friends, maybe.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is
a lot of people, it's challenging, but a lot of people go, I could never.
Yeah.
But they'll give less time to their family or their goals because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Did you ever really have to hurt someone's feelings, or were you able to pull back a little, or talk about that?
Well, I just say the relationship changed. So it wasn't necessarily removing them out of, like, I still stay in contact with people, but just the way we communicate is different. So I have friends where we'll plan a trip and it might happen 2 years from now. So I have a friend where we're going on a trip in a couple of years. We'll bring our families together. But it's a good time, like, to remember that now we have different friends. We were best friends growing up, but we have our families now, and that's our focus, and we both understand that. But at the same time, we want to make sure we bridge the connection between our families. And so we just changed the way we communicate with them or our relationship. So
it's not like you had to have a breakup.
Correct.
It was just like, we're not going to maybe go to dinner every other week and spend all our time there. I noticed our kids growing up, as we got busier or they got older, we couldn't bring them along to dinners or lunches as often with people they didn't know, but we were bringing them. But we were really in conversation with the adults across the table. And there was a point we realized we need to have these around the table at Texas Roadhouse or whatever, but it needs to be with our 2 kids. And we need to subtract the people that we usually would go to dinner with, because we're going to talk adult. And then they feel like the tag-alongs. And we went, this is a time, even at 7 and 9 years old, they're not the tag-along anymore. We want to engage in conversation with them. And they are more important than any couple friend, any friend that I knew from high school. My kids are more important. So I love that you said that, removing things and evaluating. Like, you guys have probably had to reevaluate your life and your rhythm a lot, because you've got 3 degrees, that's time that you reevaluate. That's really good. I think a lot of people, they just could like sit down as a family and put all the cards on the table and say, okay, what do we take out? Like, it's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Balance is always a topic we like to talk about here on Jesus.Plus.Life. Brittany talked about how she was able to keep her balance while still pursuing her goals and dreams. One thing she said was she had to go through the process of removing what didn't help her maintain or move her towards her goals and dreams. That sometimes meant a change in jobs, and it even meant a change in friends. Those are really hard decisions to make. But when you take the time to evaluate where you are at and where you want to be, it is worth it. Have you ever had to sit down with your spouse, or like Sonny said, your entire family, and reevaluate the rhythm of your life? If not, make it a point to do that this week. Get back to making your goals a priority. Before we get back to this week's conversation, we are really excited to show you one of our favorite events of the year. Check out this promo. If you haven't already gotten your ticket, be sure to click on the link in this video and get yours today. We would love to see you there. Now, let's get back into this week's conversation with Sonny and Brittany.
Well, I'm curious to know what motivates you.
What motivates me? In everything? It's not like I think this is it. Like, sometimes I live my life, like I'm motivated by like do as much and experience as much. It's not like I think this is it, that life is it, and I better get it all in because I die and it's over. Because I think some people think that that's what motivates you to go get it all in, because when this is over, it's over. There's no afterlife. I totally believe this is actually just the warm-up and the rehearsal, and this is like, this is going to be just a speck in comparison to all of eternity. But I just think there's so much good to experience in the world, and I think that there's so many good people, some of them covered by all kinds of trauma and wounds and issues that they don't even know they're good, but they are. I love humanity, I love people, and I wouldn't even say, I love to travel. I would say I love to experience, and some of that involves traveling. But I think I'm just motivated by, gosh, if heaven's gonna be so incredible, I feel like there's little glimpses of good here, so I want to experience it all. Yeah.
That's so good.
So it's weird because you'd think it'd be like, maybe people are more motivated when they think they've got one shot. I feel like what I love about when I think about eternity is that we're not just cherubs jumping around on clouds, little angel babies, like that, because that's what I thought as a kid, like, we're going to live in the clouds, we're going to use the clouds like a trampoline, it's just going to be, we're in heaven. And I think what the coolest thing is that it's actually going to be, we live on earth. It's a new earth though. So it's a perfect earth with no weeds or drought or sin or evil. But I will physically, will have mansions? So I'll have a house with an island? The tactile realizing I'm not just this vapor, I'm actually going to live life even better, makes me really excited about living this life, as strange as that sounds. Yeah.
That doesn't sound strange.
I love that Brittany asked the question, what motivates you? Has anyone ever asked you that question, or have you ever thought about how you would answer? We would love to hear what motivates you. Join our Facebook group and comment on this question. If you don't have an answer, then start with thinking what you are passionate about. What do you want to accomplish, and what it would take to get you there? We hope you enjoyed this conversation and that it got you really excited about planning your next big goal. We will show part 2 of this conversation next week, so be sure to set your reminder for the same time next Wednesday. We love sharing cheery conversations with you and adding some Jesus joy to your life. See you next week.